to another video, Halftime TV viewers and subscribers. Now, last evening I did a video about the group that Jamaica was placed in for the 2026 World Cup qualifiers, and this is the third round, and there were a lot of fans from other countries who thought it was disrespectful. Now, I want you folks to go back and to watch that video. You can comment underneath and tell me if I was being disrespectful. Let me know. I'm always curious to hear what your thoughts are on the videos, because I think based on the commentary that I provided in that video, I was being just, I was being rational. But a lot of the times, you know what they say, you're a little bit too close to the painting, you won't appreciate the beauty. So maybe because I'm the one doing the video, I don't realize what's happening or the tone that's being conveyed or what have you. Anyway, today I'm here to do this video to basically support my assertions that were made in the previous video. Now, in the previous video I mentioned that Jamaica will qualify for the World Cup, or at least I expect the Jamaican team to have a showing at the World Cup right now. Now, just a quick recap. The group that Jamaica has been placed in includes the following teams. We have Trinidad and Tobago, we have Bermuda, Curacao, and naturally the Reggae Boys. Oh, one small thing before I go any further. Remember, smash the like button and subscribe to Halftime TV if you enjoy the content that we're producing over here on the channel. Alright, let's keep these videos going. Let's continue liking the videos, getting them on top of the algorithm. That way your friends, your relatives, your colleagues, they can see them as soon as they go into YouTube and type in anything about football or the Reggae Boys in particular. Alright, so let's get to it. Curacao, we mentioned, was one of the teams that I wanted the fans to keep an eye on. Now, the Jamaican fans, we know Trinidad and Tobago, they're gonna be probably the hardest team to play, right? Primarily because of that small rivalry with Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica when it comes down to football and dominant country in the Caribbean, da-da-dee-da-da-da. Curacao, as part of the Dutch Antilles, we expect them to have that Dutch DNA when it comes down to football. And if you follow football, you know that the Dutch have been considered those with total football, or when it comes to IQ, total football. So the Dutch people, they're responsible for total football. All right. I think I'll just give you a little bit of statistics, might as well, because the claims and the assertions that I made didn't come out of thin air. I like to do what they call the eye test. When you watch a team, you say, okay, well, this team isn't too bad, they play some good football, and then you go check it out. You say, all right, what's the statistics saying? And then based on the statistics, you say, what does history say? So that's how we make our assessment, right? We watch the teams, we do a little bit of research to get some statistics to see where the statistics stand, and be careful of the statistics as well, because sometimes statistics is framed to support a narrative. We won't do that here. We'll provide you with the statistics and allow you to form your opinion. We'll talk about Curacao first. They are currently ranked 90 on the FIFA ranking, and I know there's someone here that will say FIFA ranking doesn't mean anything, it's on the day, or even go as far as to use the most cliched term ever used, the ball is round, or football is played over 90 minutes, or all these terms. But again, this is what the statistics states. This is what the data states, all right? Currently ranked 90 on the FIFA ranking. Last 4 games they played against Jamaica, they've lost 2, they've drawn 1, and they've won 1. Okay? For the last 10 games that they've played, they've won 7 of those games. They've lost twice, and they've drawn 1. The 2 games that they lost were against Kazakhstan and St. Lucia. In this time, they scored 26 goals. So Curacao knows how to find the back of the net. Most recently, they played Haiti a couple of days ago, and they humbled Haiti 5-1. So I think, and in that game, they didn't even break a sweat, if I'm to be honest. Okay, so Curacao, good team. They're playing some good football. They're on the rise, and I think we should pay keen attention to the Curacao team. Don't be surprised if the second place team in this group, because I'm going to say Jamaica is going to finish first naturally, but don't be surprised if the second place team is Curacao. Continuing, we have Trinidad and Tobago, the Twin Island Republic. Now, this is where a lot of the pushback has been coming from. This is where a lot of the remarks about being disrespectful and whatnot has been coming from. I have a lot of Trini friends. They've been blowing up my phone. Big up yourself, Darius. Big up, Stefan. Paige, it's love as usual. But I think where Trinidad and Tobago is currently in their progress, they're a little bit farther off than Jamaica and Curacao as well. They recently hired Dwight York, and the Jamaican coach Steve McLaren, he spoke highly of Dwight York, but personally I think there is a lot more to do for the Trinidad team. And even, as a matter of fact, this group is favorable not only to Jamaica but to Trinidad as well, because at least they have an outside chance of making it to the playoffs. I think if they had been placed in any of the other groups, it would be far more challenging for them, especially considering where they are at now. Now, they played Jamaica 3 times in recent months, right? A pair of friendlies in Jamaica, and then they played Jamaica in the Unity Cup a couple of days ago in England. So those 3 games, Jamaica won twice and they drew 1. The last 10 games that Trinidad and Tobago has played, they've won 4 of those games, they've lost 5 and they drew once. They've conceded 18 goals in that period and they've scored 16 goals. So again, they're shipping in goals. Trinidad and Tobago, I think in previous years we've seen them at the World Cup. They made us proud because, again, Jamaica wasn't participating in that World Cup. And not only that, but it's good to see a fellow Caribbean country competing at the World Cup and giving a good account of themselves. I think those years of Trinidad qualifying for the World Cup, over 10 years now, and where they've gotten to now, it's light years apart, and they'd love to get back to that space, but currently they're not that team and they have a lot of work to do. So Trinidad and Tobago currently ranked 100 in the FIFA ranking, so a slide for them, but I think in months to come, maybe by the time we get to the World Cup, if they get there, we'll see a better Trinidad team, or who knows what the future holds. But right now, Trinidad and Tobago is not the powerhouse football country that they'd want to believe. Okay, and that's just me putting it as nicely as possible. Continuing, we have Bermuda, which is the lowest ranked team in the group. Now, most of you probably don't even know that Bermuda has a football team. Maybe you've heard about the Bermuda Triangle. Maybe you've heard, I don't know. Bermuda football team isn't something that pops out at you the first thing. You maybe think about the beaches, that sort of thing, but we don't naturally associate Bermuda with football. But they've been kicking up a storm as well. They've been punching down some teams, right? Bermuda, the last 10 games, they've won 6, they've lost 4, they don't draw games. Right? They don't draw games. So it's either win or lose. The last 4 times they played Jamaica, they lost all 4. The most recent 2020 and the earliest one was in the 90s. So Jamaica doesn't play Bermuda very often, but when we do play Bermuda, we usually win. So 24 goals scored for Bermuda throughout this period, 21 goals conceded, and this is their last 10 games. So Bermuda, they're scoring goals, but they're also shipping goals. Probably a mindset that, well, we don't worry if someone scores on us because we can always score more. But again, I expect Jamaica to beat Bermuda. Finally in the group now, we have Jamaica, the Reggae Boys, the team that I expect to come out on top of the group. Jamaica is currently ranked 63 on the FIFA ranking. The last 10 games, and this is excluding penalties because we know that Jamaica was participating in a recent penalty shootout with Nigeria. I won't consider that. All right, so 5 games won, 3 games drawn, and 2 losses. So 16 goals scored in the period and 11 goals conceded. Of all the teams that I just listed, Jamaica has conceded the fewest goals. Although we haven't scored a whole lot of goals, I think the defense that we have, they have been doing their job. So Jamaica doesn't concede a lot of goals and we score fairly good amount. So no surprises. Overall, based on everything that I presented to you now, as well as the eye test, because I don't want you guys to undermine or to belittle the eye test, because a lot of the times stat padding and the statistics, the data can be misleading. So I want you to pay attention. Eye test, one of the most important tests. If you watch the team play and then you tie it in with the statistics and a little bit of history, then I think you'll be able to form a credible enough opinion. And that's what we do here at Halftime TV, because based on the eye test as well as the statistics and the history of these three teams when it comes to playing against Jamaica, I think it's safe enough to say the Jamaican team should qualify top of this zone and should advance automatically to the 2026 World Cup. If you think something to the contrary, or if you have information that will basically render my arguments moot, then I want you to put that argument in the comment section and we can continue the debate there. But as far as I'm concerned, the information that we presented and history is on Jamaica's side, and that means the Reggae Boys should start packing their bags. The fans of the Jamaican football team should start packing their bags. If we can't qualify for this World Cup, we might as well round up some taximen from Jamaica, throw them in the F1, and have the entire country start supporting F1 racing. Alright? Big up on yourself. Remember, smash the like button, subscribe to Halftime TV if you haven't yet done so, and let's keep the conversation going beneath this video. Peace out.